What we do is just deliver tools, and we just deliver data. The paradox of that is that when we deliver that data, as long as there are people who are willing to engage in the dialogue, then we see amazing things happen. We see leaders change, we see organizations change, we see the degree of fulfillment of their employees change, and the impact they have on their customers and society change so dramatically.
If the leaders are just looking at the numbers, then culture isn't even on their radar. It's not something that they're measuring, it's not something that they're looking at, and this tool quantifies it and puts it on their score sheet. Companies have their own sort of genetic DNA of how they are together, and what we do is we tap into seeing what is it that they're doing, how are they being together, and in ways that are typically intangible.
So we ask these three questions and people answer the questions, and actually what we're doing is reflecting back what people have said. Often they will have got into a mode of operating where they will just skirt around the stuff that's a problem for them or causing them, well, not just a problem, but real dysfunction, and just assume that that's how things are and never really face up to it.
What we can definitively say is that companies that have high levels of dysfunction, where people are picking fear-based values or negative, potentially limiting values, that those are the companies that are not doing as financially well up against other companies that are similarly sized in the same markets.
One of the organizations we worked with, they had a fairly dysfunctional picture. They had words like blame, bureaucracy, hierarchy, those type of things I already described. And the finance director said to me, so our people are unhappy and we've got a bad culture, but that doesn't cost us money. We went back and did another kind of check with the employees about how much productivity they were losing to bureaucracy and how much productivity they were losing to these limiting values. When we gave those numbers, average numbers, back to the board, and we said, we don't mind what numbers you come up with, but calculate this against your salary bill, they calculated they were losing somewhere around £13 million a year on a 33 million pound income. And they got the message absolutely loud and clear that having a high-performing culture has a very definite impact on the bottom line of an organization. When we did the values assessment of Latvia, the desired culture that the citizens of Latvia had chosen, select the values you would choose for your nation to achieve its highest performance. You know, when we looked at the words, we saw a list of values and they made sense to us. When we showed the words to the government people and the politicians in Latvia, in the very first meeting, within 20 minutes, they were seeing not just values words, but new ways to create policy to run a country in a way that would reflect who the people were and what they were looking for. And so yes, there's a profound depth to it, but there's a real practicality to it as well.
Are you really telling me this is it? They're expecting some grand, complicated formula or a complex process, but yet to have being asked just three simple questions and getting such meaningful data from them sometimes is the hard sell. They're expecting complex.
Our job is to help them get on the path, to help give a sense of direction and create these new conversations. We cannot walk the path for any corporation, any leader, any government. They have to walk that path themselves. They have to do all their own work to create their own inner transformation and organizational transformation. I'm really clear that organizations have to go into this process with a clear sense of commitment to almost the unknown.